Hello, I am Lori Cooch. Welcome back to another Makers with Heart. This is a mystery envelope challenge. So if you're new, what that is there's 7 of us in the Makers with Heart group, and each month one of us sends some random things and instructions. So this month our envelope came from Kim, and these are the pieces that I received. I received a piece of Tutti Frutti paper, and then some coordinating cardstocks that go with it. Got another piece of cardstock and some Post-it notes. We got some wild berry cardstock and some glitter gems, and then another piece of cardstock. And her instructions say, enclosed are your pieces from the May Mystery Envelope Challenge. Yes, you will see I have included this is raspberry, not even wild berry. Raspberry cardstock and wild berry gems. There is even a hint of blue for Amanda because Amanda is having a challenge. So make sure you check out her page to find out about that. It says, but there isn't any of my favorite color, purple. So in order to bring you into my creative process, here are my guidelines for May. So I need to create at least one paper piecing, Cricut image or masking, stamping, or fussy cutting. And she's included the Post-it notes for the masking. I can add white or black cardstock, use any close to my heart stamps, inks, thin cuts, or stencils. If you use all of the wild berry gems, you may add one more color of gems or sequins, no other embellishments. Mixed media is encouraged but not necessary, and if you use ink and stencil technique. Have fun, and she can't wait to see what we do. So if you're not familiar, we will all get these same items. All 7 of us have these same items, and we will each create something out of them. And then on the 25th, so you're watching this on the 25th, they will all release. So make sure you check out the other 6, not just mine, and see what everyone creates with these fun and exciting things. It's always fun to see everybody's vision is different, and everybody comes up with something completely different than what the other has done. So it's real inspirational and opens you up to a lot of new ideas and techniques that you might not have thought of before. So my first thing is I'm going to be using the Cricut because that is where I don't want to say expertise, but that is where I'm really good at on the Cricut. So if you have Cricut questions, feel free to ask those of me as well. So let's head over to my design space and we will see what I'm doing. Okay, so here is my my computer. So I'm going to be using the Tutti Frutti Digital Art Collection. This is right on my Close to My Heart site. So I will put links to all of this in the description below, but you'll see you get all of these images, you get some cards, and you get this layout in addition to these other embellishments, all for just $9.95. So these are SVG files, so you can put them into your design space to use with your Cricut. And I think, pretty sure you can use those in a Silhouette as well. I don't have a Silhouette, but I'm sure you can import an SVG into those. So once you purchase them, you wonder where they are. You'll just go up here to your name. My computer is going really slow. Come on. And you'll click on Account. I have this screen recording software going, so it really slows down my computer. Plus my computer is really old and I need a new one. But then you'll come over here to your digital library. And it will be on top because that'll be the last one that you purchased. You're going to click download, and it's going to download it into a zip file, which will then open up on your computer. And I've already pulled some things out. So these are the ones I have not pulled out yet. And then over here you'll see on the left I have the Sweet Life Layout SVG, and then the 5 popsicles. So those are what I'm gonna I may not use all the popsicles, but I'm going to use these images in the card we're making today. So I'm not going to make you watch me import all of these into Design Space. I'm just going to minimize this, and I'll come back and do that at another time. So I'm going to minimize this, and now we are at my Design Space. So I'm going to say a new project. Come on. I swear this thing works fine when I'm not trying to demo it. Okay. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to upload these images into my Design Space. So I'm going to click Upload Image. Looks different, sorry, I got confused. And then I'm going to drop and drag the layout in first. And it's Sweet Life layout. I'm going to keep it exactly the same. It's a cut image, and I'm going to upload. Then I'm going to do the same for these other popsicles. You have to do them one at a time. Popsicle 1, fine. You can rename them if you want to. Just dropping and dragging them in. These are SVG files, so I don't need to worry about clearing out the background. That's one of the bonuses of an SVG file. There's 5 of them. And the last one. Now I'm going to click on each and every one of these, and you'll see that every time I click it, it comes down here, and it also makes it in green. That means it's going to be imported here when I say add to canvas. I'm going to take it a second because there's so many of them. Okay, now this came across huge, and I do have a giant screen, so I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. But I don't want it that big, and actually I'm not even going to use a lot of this. So for the layout, I am going to ungroup it, and I'm just going to delete what I'm not using. So here's my popsicles. Those are fine. Not sure which ones of those I'm going to use yet. And honestly, in this, I'm only using the title, and I'm going to edit that myself. So I'm going to ungroup this as well, and I'm going to move it off to the side. And then I'm going to click up here and drag across all of this, and I'm going to delete it. Now it's not deleting it out of Design Space, it's just deleting it off of this particular project that I'm using. Now I want to edit these words. I don't want it to say this sweet life. I want it to say life is sweet. So I'm going to ungroup this from the background here, and I'm going to just get rid of this. And then now I need to ungroup this, and I'm going to get rid of the T, and I'm going to get rid of the H, and I'm going to put life. Now, did you know you can do that? You can just click and drag across, and it will put a temporary grouping about it, around it. And I'm going to come over here and say life is sweet. And I am happy, I think, with the spacing. I might move it just a smidge more. Since we're doing a card, I want it to be a little bit closer. Okay, now I'm going to group this back. So you can easily manipulate things. If you didn't know that, you absolutely can. Now I'm going to add the offset back to it. I don't want it to be real big. So we'll start right here. That looks good. Boom. So now we have Life is Sweet instead of This Sweet Life. Now, just for my sizing, I am going to add a shape. Come on. Because I know my card bases are 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Come on. It needs to think. No results found. Of course not. There they are. Usually if you just close it and reopen it, it will come back. So I'm going to just take a square. And I'm going to unlock it right here. I put this lock here. And I'm going to make the width of it 5 1/2 and the height 4 1/4. Now, if I would have not unlocked it, it would have made the whole thing 5 1/2 because it was a square. Now it's a rectangle. And I know that it's going to be hard to see on black. So I'm going to click up here and change this color to white. And I'm going to move. See, I didn't even group those together. Oh, so I'm going to undo because I want it to stay lined up the way it was. So now I'm going to group those so they will move together. And there's a lot of fun features in Design Space. If you didn't know, we could even, well, there's a way to curve it. I can't figure out what it is right at the moment quickly, but you can curve text. And you know what? I probably can't curve it because I put the offset on. So that's probably why I'm not seeing it. So, you know, I might move this down. And then I'm going to add, so now see how it's going behind? And that's because they're way down here at the bottom on my layers tab. So you can do a couple things. You can drag it up. See how it's moving? I can drag it all the way up to the top, or I can just click on this here and say bring to front. And so now it's going to be in front, and it'll even be in front of my words, which I probably don't want, and I actually don't want that one. I want this one, so I need to bring it to front. And this one, arrange, bring to front. And this one, arrange, bring to front. So I'm going to use those 3 popsicles. Now I'm going to take the Life is Sweet and I'm going to bring it to the front so I can see how this is going to look once I am done cutting it and assembling it. These ones I'm not going to use, so I'm going to just take those off. So, we're met with some dilemmas because I have only certain pieces of cardstock that I can use, and I can only use these papers or white and black and or black cardstock. I am going to use some black because I want it to make the colors pop and really stand off, but since I can't use any other additional colors of cardstock, I am going to use Distress Oxide inks because I can, according to her rules, it says mixed media is encouraged, and Distress Oxides are considered mixed media. So because I'm going to be cutting all of these pieces now in white, we don't need that, I can change them so I don't waste a lot of paper. So I'm going to go up here to Color Sync, and I'm going to just make all of my popsicle pieces except for the popsicle sticks. I am going to make them, well, I'm making them all the wrong color, but I'm going to make them white. So we're actually going to just move them up here to the white. I wasn't really paying attention to what I was doing. That's popsicle stick. That's popsicle stick. This one. And this one, I believe. Yep. And then this. So those are all going to cut on white cardstock, and we're going to color them with Distress Oxide inks. And so what I'm left with then is our popsicle sticks, which we're going to use the papers that Kim gave me for those. And you know what? I do have one piece of raspberry cardstock. So I'm going to actually go back to this one, and I'm going to turn it raspberry. Whoop. Oh, I have to go to the layers. Sorry, not paying attention. So this piece here, I want it to be raspberry. So now I can click on the colors right here, and we'll say that that's raspberry. Ooh, that's red. And I don't even have the right one that I'm wanting to change. I want to change this one. Perfect. So that will cut raspberry. And, you know, this is not raspberry, but it doesn't matter. I could put yellow paper down, and Cricut's not going to care. So now I'm going to say make it, but before I do that, I don't want to cut this 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 piece because it's going to be the card front base. So that was just there for sizing. And I'm actually going to cut Life is Sweet as I'm looking at these pages in a piece of the cardstock that Kim provided to me. And I just need to make sure on the sizing it is not even an inch tall. So that will be fine. I'm going to, do I want to make it an inch? What if we make it an inch? I might make it too wide. So yeah, we're going to leave that as is, only I am going to change the letters. See, so now, oh, I'm going to just change one letter here. And I'm going to make it this bluish color. And then I'm going to go back to Sync. And I'm going to make all the letters the same because I'm going to cut them out of the same piece of cardstock that Kim provided. So this is an easy way to match up your colors when you want to change them. Okay, so I think I'm good now. 1, 2, 3, and I need to see. So Kim gave me a little piece of cardstock, and it's 1 1/2 by 1 1/2. So I want to make sure, if I go back to layers, this little piece of popsicle stick, any one of them will work. Tell me the size. It's weird it's not telling me the size up there, but if I ungroup it, let's see. There we go. So it is 5.76 by 0.36, and my piece of paper is 1 1/2, so I am good. So I'm going to just undo, put everything back the way it was, move that right back there. And so now I'm going to have my 3 pieces of popsicle sticks and my words and part of my popsicle. The rest will be done with Distress Oxides. So let's get this cut and then come back to the creating. Oops, click the wrong. Okay. I went ahead and did all the Cricut cuts off screen because that's just kind of boring. And I've lined them up how they're going to go. I also changed my letters because they weren't going to all cut out of this piece like I had hoped. So I cut them out of the raspberry, and then I ran them through my Xyron along with the popsicle stick stems. And what I do with my Xyron pieces is I just take my scoring tool from my Cricut, and then you outline around them, and I've already done this. So then that kind of severs the adhesive on here, so you don't get that stringy adhesive on your cut when you're done. So I did that, but then I saw this turquoise gloss spray, and I think that would just be fun to add to this as well. So I'm going to move all of these off. Oh, and I cut a piece of our black cardstock because I can use black at 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, which is going to be our card base. And then of course our cardstock that Kim sent me, I cut it down. It was 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. I cut it down to 4 by 5 1/4, so it's going to layer, and that's what I'm going to tap this turquoise ink onto. So I'm getting my all-purpose matte, Versamat. I get them confused out, and I'm gonna grab some baby wipes because these are messy. And I'm just going to tap the color on there, so we just get a splattering of color onto our background. Now you'll see it's everywhere. That's why I have a baby wipe, and that's why you use your mat, so that it doesn't get all over your workstation. I'm going to set that off to the side so it can dry. And I'm going to clean this up. Oh, and I got it on a popsicle, but that's okay because it's going to match. Okay, so now we're going to start our distress oxiding of our popsicles. So here's our popsicle pieces. This one, since it's pink, and I did get that there, so we can turn it around and make it go this way. We'll start with this one. So this one is pink, and I want something fun and colorful behind it. I want this card to just be bright and colorful and all the things. So I think we're gonna go with the Mermaid Lagoon Distress Oxide. And I'm just gonna color it in. And I'm leaving it, see how you can see my brush marks on there? I don't need to worry about that. I'm leaving that because I want it to be a little darker, because, you know, the fun little popsicles that the popsicle guy drives around in the neighborhoods, they're all like fun like that. So there's a difference of variation in there. Perfect. So now I need to get one of my popsicle sticks, and I think this one we are gonna do in yellow. Just make it fun some more. And I'm just going to stick some adhesive on here. So there is, I'm trying to line this up, our first popsicle. Isn't that cute? You guys, I think this is so fun. But I love playing with the Distress Oxides. They're one of my favorite tools. So then this one, I think we're gonna go, we'll use the picked raspberry on the inside and mustard seed on the out. So same thing, just going to fill it in. If you don't have Distress Oxides, you can use our, oh, got my ink on there, my other color ink. You can use our other inks as well. They will work. I just like the ease of the Distress Oxides. They go on so creamy and smooth. And then we're going to do this one in the mustard seed. Oop, bent that. It's okay. It'll lay down. And again, you're going to want your all-purpose mat, Versamat. I gotta really remember those under here so that you don't get ink all over your desk. And I'm just going to put some adhesive on the back of this. I got some adhesive overlay here, and I'm just going to fold it up. Oh, that's not even straight. It's not wanting to stick because the ink is still wet, but that'll stick. And then on this one, we're going to take the blue. I want the ice cream man to come around now. So this one, because it's kind of got the stripe through it, we're going to do a couple different things. So we'll start with Seedless Preserves. Then we're going to add some peacock feather and then abandoned coral. So take these off of here. And I just put Velcro on the bottom of these so that I don't ever lose my blending things. And I do need to wash my hands off because I have different colored inks all over me. So actually, I think we're going to start the peacock feather on the top. And I don't really need to remember in the middle because we're going to have this stripe here. So I'm going to just go a little ways and blend this in. And I can spritz this to give it that distressed look, but I don't need to. And then we're going to put the Seedless Preserves on the bottom. And I don't want my ink from my other pieces to get on here. Don't even need to blend it in because we're going to have that little strip across it. And then the strip. Thought I had the orange eye. Oh, abandoned coral. Goodness, I'm losing my mind. And that's going to fit right here. So you're going to see some of the bleed, just a little bit around the edges, but that's so cute. Stick some adhesive on there. Oops. And then our last popsicle stick. I'm going to let those dry while we put our Life is Sweet letters on here. Be always careful when you're playing with eyes so you don't lose the little pieces that dot your eye. That is what I always do, and then end up having to recut. But today I did not. Now remember, this saying actually said something different. It said, "This sweet life." And we changed it to say "Life is sweet." So you can do all these edits in Design Space. You're not forced to use what is provided. Even that's a great saying. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. Just didn't fit with what I wanted to do. Nope, and I didn't get that little tiny piece out when I pulled it off my Cricut mat, so we'll grab it now. Our fine tip tweezers are the absolute best for getting little tiny things. My eyesight, however, not the best. That is my fault that that is still there. So let me get it out. Now I know that piece is still there on the W, so I'm going to take one of my little Cricut tools and I'm just going to slice it out because I don't want to rip my W. There. There. Okay, now we have our splattered piece. Then we have the black piece. So I'm going to work on the splatter. I'm going to put down my Life is Sweet. And then we have our popsicles that are going to go on here. And I want to add, I still have a piece of paper that I haven't cut. So I might put that in here like, ooh, I like that. Okay, so we're going to put that at the bottom. I want it this way with all the popsicles. Yeah, we'll do the popsicles. And we have Life is Sweet. But first I want to put our popsicles down. And I don't want them just straight up and down. And I'm going to use foam tape on our Life is Sweet, so that pops up a little bit. Whoa, don't stick. And I'm going to then put that on our black cardstock. Now, if you didn't know, like I know most of you know our cardstock is all white core, but we now offer the black cardstock in both black solid core or white core. So I chose the solid core. And I'm going to just put some adhesive on here. And then I'm going to put that again, this way, onto our card front. I'm not done. Then we still have sequins to use. Got all of our sequins. So I got to get them out from, I just threw those on the floor. Shoot. So here's one. I just took it off of the sticker backing. So I'll put that there. See if I can easily find the ones I just threw on the floor. With gray carpet, it makes it very hard to see little tiny things. So, I'm gonna cheat. She gave me wild berry sequins. I lost them. I had every intention of using them, and I lost them. So, what we're gonna do instead is we're gonna cheat, and I hope that's okay. I'm going to put some wild berry sequins on here instead. Just a couple. I'm not going to cheat a whole bunch. Just a little bit. So I'm going to just put some glue dots down. I have the hardest time with these. And we do have one more. So I'll just put the glue directly on it. Okay, so there is my May mystery envelope project. Again, this came from Kim. Be sure and check out all the other Makers with Hearts projects. I will put links to everything I used, including my contraband sequins And I hope you enjoyed this. Be sure and check out everybody's, because they're all going to do something completely different and separate than what I've done. And that's the beauty of it. We all have different crafting styles, and hopefully one of these ways will match your crafting style or inspire you to create something yourself. Thanks for watching. If you have not already, please, 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 I beg you, please click the subscribe button so that lets me know you liked it. And be sure and come back every month to see what we do. We start releasing our normal videos on the 10th every month. There'll be one each day for 7 days. And then of course we have our mystery envelope on the 25th. Let me pull this up here so you can see it. And like I said before, you have any Cricut questions, just reach out. I'm happy to answer them and help you out any way I can. So thanks for watching. Have a wonderful day.